Something important has just happened. A man whose life has been focused on education, leadership, and service has now been called to one of the highest responsibilities in his church. Clark G. Gilbert has been called to serve in the Quorum of the 12 Apostles of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. For many people, this is more than just news. It is a major moment. But the real question is not only what happened. The real question is, why him, and why now? In a world that is always changing, this calling feels meaningful. Out of millions of members around the world, one name was chosen. One leader was asked to take on a new and serious role. This kind of calling comes after careful thought and prayer by church leaders. So when Clark G. Gilbert's name was announced, it was more than an appointment. It was a moment that could influence the future direction of the church. What makes this even more interesting is his background. Clark G. Gilbert is known for his work in education and leadership. He has served in important roles, helping guide students and support learning programs. Much of his work was done quietly, focusing on growth and improvement. And now, he steps into a position that carries worldwide responsibility. His voice will help guide members in many countries. His experience will now serve a much larger purpose. So we have to ask again, what does this mean? What does his calling say about the future focus of the church? What message does it send to young people and families? And what can we learn from the way leaders are prepared for greater responsibility? Today, we will look deeper. We will learn more about who Clark G. Gilbert is. We will explore what it means to become an apostle. And by the end of this video, you may see this moment in a new way. Because sometimes, when one leader is called to serve in a higher role, it can signal that important changes and new opportunities are ahead. To understand this moment better, we need to understand the man behind the name. Who is Clark G. Gilbert? What kind of experience prepares someone for a responsibility like this? Clark G. Gilbert has spent much of his professional life in education and leadership. Over the years, he became known as a thoughtful teacher and an organized leader. His work has focused on helping students grow, improving learning systems, and preparing people for the future. Those who have worked with him often describe him as calm, focused, and practical in his approach. He received higher education in business and leadership, which gave him strong skills in management and strategy. His background helped him understand how organizations function and how to guide teams effectively. This combination of education and leadership experience shaped his career path. One of his important roles was serving in leadership connected to Brigham Young University. Later, he became involved with BYU Pathway Worldwide, a program that provides affordable and flexible education to students in many parts of the world. In that position, he worked on expanding opportunities for students who needed online and accessible learning options. The program grew significantly and reached learners in different countries. He later served as the commissioner of the church educational system. In that role, he helped oversee universities, seminaries, and other educational programs connected to the church. This responsibility required careful planning, clear communication, and long-term vision. Education systems are complex, and guiding them requires patience and steady leadership. Alongside his professional work, he has also served in different church responsibilities over the years. Like many leaders, he balanced career duties with service in his local congregation. These experiences helped him understand the everyday needs of members and families. When we look at his journey, we see a consistent theme: leadership, organization, and a strong focus on growth. Much of his work has centered on young adults and students, helping them prepare for careers and life challenges. In a time when education and personal development are very important, his background connects closely with the needs of the current generation. His path shows steady preparation. Step by step, his responsibilities increased. Each role added new experience. Each assignment helped him develop skills in guiding people and managing large systems. Now, those same skills may influence how he approaches this new calling. But this raises an important question. Moving from education leadership to serving as a member of the Quorum of the 12 Apostles is a major shift. What does that change really mean? What kind of responsibility does this new role carry? To fully understand that, we need to explore what it means to serve as an apostle and why this calling is significant for members around the world. To understand the importance of this calling, we need to understand the role itself. What does it actually mean to be a member of the Quorum of the 12 Apostles? In the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the apostles are senior leaders who help guide the church worldwide. They work closely with the First Presidency to provide direction, teach doctrine, and strengthen members across many nations. Their responsibility is not limited to one country or culture. Their influence reaches globally. Members of the Quorum of the 12 Apostles are considered special witnesses of Jesus Christ. They travel, speak at conferences, meet with leaders, and help make important decisions that affect the church as a whole. Their messages often focus on faith, family, service, and personal growth. This role also requires unity. Decisions are not made by one person alone. The apostles counsel together, discuss issues carefully, and seek guidance before moving forward. That process can take time. It involves listening, patience, and cooperation. Every voice matters in the room. Another important part of this calling is stability. Apostles usually serve for life. That means when someone is called, it is a long-term commitment. Over time, they become steady voices for millions of members. Their teachings shape the direction of the church for years, sometimes decades. This is why each new calling draws attention. Every apostle brings a different background, personality, and set of experiences. Some have experience in law, some in medicine, some in business or community leadership. Each perspective adds something unique to the group. So when a new apostle is sustained, people naturally wonder, what strengths will he bring? What focus might he have? How will his past experiences influence his future service? Understanding the role helps us see why this moment matters. It is not simply filling a position. It is welcoming a new voice into one of the most influential councils in the church. And that leads us to the next important part of the story, the moment the announcement was made. When the announcement was made that Clark G. Gilbert would join the Quorum of the 12 Apostles, it immediately became a major moment for members around the world. News traveled quickly through official channels and online platforms. Many people paused to read, reflect, and share the update with family and friends. For some, the announcement brought surprise. For others, it brought curiosity. Members often feel a strong connection to these moments because they understand the long-term impact such callings can have. A new apostle means a new chapter. Reactions began to appear from different parts of the world. Leaders expressed support. Members shared positive messages. Conversations started about what this could mean for the future. Whenever a new apostle is called, it reminds members that the church continues to move forward. At the same time, there is a personal side to these announcements. Behind the public statement is an individual and a family whose lives are about to change. A new schedule, new responsibilities, and new expectations begin almost immediately. The transition is significant. Moments like this also highlight continuity. The Quorum of the 12 Apostles has existed for many years, and over time, different leaders have stepped into this role. Each calling connects the present to the past while preparing for the future. And that raises a thoughtful question. Why now? Why at this particular time in the church's growth and development? What needs might this new leader help address? To explore that, we need to look at the bigger picture, the current direction of the church, and how this calling fits into that ongoing story. Timing often tells its own story. This calling comes at a time when the church continues to expand into new regions and cultures. Membership is spread across continents, languages, and different social environments. Leading in such a global setting requires understanding change, technology, and the needs of diverse communities. The world today is very different from what it was even 10 years ago. Communication is faster. Young people face new pressures. Families deal with economic and social challenges. Education is shifting toward digital platforms. In this environment, leadership must think ahead, not just respond to the present. Clark G. Gilbert's background in educational systems and online learning connects directly to this modern landscape. The church has invested heavily in education, training, and leadership development for youth and young adults. As more members seek flexible learning and digital resources, experience in these areas becomes especially valuable. Another important factor is the rising generation. Young adults today are asking deeper questions. They want clear answers, strong guidance, and leaders who understand their world. Having someone who has worked closely with students and academic programs may strengthen outreach and communication with this age group. There is also the global missionary effort. As the church grows in new areas, leaders must consider cultural differences, economic realities, and local challenges. Experience managing international programs can provide helpful insight when making decisions that affect members in many countries. So this calling may reflect more than replacing a position. It may reflect preparation for the next phase of growth. Leadership always looks forward. Decisions today shape the next decade. And that leads to something even more personal, because behind every public calling, there is a personal challenge. When someone accepts a calling of this level, life changes immediately. The schedule becomes demanding. Travel increases. Public attention grows. Time becomes limited. Responsibilities expand beyond what most people can imagine. Serving as an apostle is not a part-time assignment. It becomes a lifelong commitment. It means constant preparation, regular speaking engagements, meetings with leaders across the world, and involvement in important decisions. The work does not pause. There is also emotional weight. Members look to apostles for guidance and reassurance. Their words are studied carefully. Their actions are observed closely. That kind of responsibility requires discipline, humility, and steady character. Family life also adjusts. Support from loved ones becomes essential. A calling of this level affects not just one individual, but an entire household. New routines must be created. Priorities must be balanced carefully. At the same time, those who accept such responsibilities often speak about a sense of purpose. They understand that leadership is about service. It is about helping others grow, find direction, and build stronger lives. The role carries pressure, but it also carries meaning. When we think about this calling in that light, it becomes more than a leadership change. It represents dedication. It represents willingness to step forward when asked. And it reminds members that leadership often requires quiet sacrifice. But one final question remains. What impact could this have in the years ahead? What direction might unfold because of this moment? To answer that, we now look toward the future. When a new apostle is called, the full impact is not seen immediately. History shows that influence unfolds over time. Teachings are given, priorities are set, and small decisions slowly shape the direction of the church for years to come. So what could this moment mean moving forward? First, there may be continued emphasis on strengthening individuals through learning and preparation. In a fast-changing world, members often look for practical guidance that helps them balance faith, family, work, and personal growth. Leadership with experience in organization and long-term planning can help build clear strategies for the future. Second, communication may continue to adapt to modern platforms. The global church includes members in different time zones, languages, and cultures. Clear messaging and thoughtful outreach are more important than ever. Leaders who understand systems and structure can help ensure that guidance reaches people effectively. Third, there is the long-term vision of stability. Apostles serve for many years, and over time they become familiar voices to members worldwide. As responsibilities shift within senior leadership, each new calling plays a role in preparing future transitions. Continuity is built step by step. It is also possible that this calling signals continued focus on youth, young adults, and leadership development. Investing in the rising generation strengthens the church's foundation. Decisions made today will influence tomorrow's families and communities. Of course, no one can predict every detail of what lies ahead. But one thing is certain: moments like this are part of a larger story. Leadership does not stand still. It moves forward with intention. And that brings us to the final reflection: what this moment means not just for leadership, but for each individual watching. As we look back at this announcement, we see more than a name added to a list. We see preparation meeting opportunity. We see experience stepping into greater responsibility. And we see the continuation of leadership that has guided millions of members around the world. Clark G. Gilbert's calling reminds us that roles can change, but purpose remains steady. Leadership in the church is built on service, commitment, and long-term dedication. Each new chapter connects the past with the future. For members, moments like this are also personal. They invite reflection. They encourage people to think about their own growth, their own responsibilities, and how they contribute in their families and communities. Because while only a few are called to global leadership, everyone plays a part in strengthening faith, supporting others, and building positive influence where they live. This announcement marks the beginning of a new chapter. The full impact will unfold in the years ahead. And as the church continues to grow and adapt, this moment will be remembered as part of that ongoing journey. The story does not end here. In many ways, it is just beginning.